Today I'm delighted to be joined by Big River Gold's Executive Chairman, Andrew Richards. Andrew, thanks for joining me in the studio.
Hi, good to be here, thank you.
Andrew, it's been a busy couple of months for the team at Big River Gold. Firstly, can we get an update of your Borborema project?
Since we released our DFS findings just before Christmas, the floodgates have sort of unleashed, and there's been a lot of activity between even Christmas and now. We spent a lot of time over there looking at getting our some fresh appointees there for our owners team as we look to move towards better design and construction. A lot of activity talking to banks and prospective financiers of one kind or another. And now that the numbers are out, they can actually put some realistic numbers or have some deep consideration of what they're going to do. And that's been very encouraging. We're also looking at finalising some of our design work in terms of our power and the government authorities that we're dealing with. So it's stepped up a notch.
And just recently we've read that Pitt Street Research has put out quite an interesting set of research. I think it was titled Big River, Big Opportunity.
And indeed it is, yes.
What were some of the key kind of highlights from their
Well,
research?
it's an interesting exercise. They took our information that we released and assigned some thoughts to the stage one mining that we had there.
Yeah.
I have to say that the research did not consider anything outside that 10-year mining window. It didn't include anything to do with sort of the stage 2 or 3 mining or the resources and reserves that aren't there. It didn't include anything on any valuation assigned to, say, byproducts, for example. And it's anyone's guess, of course, what the gold price will do, but it came back with some pretty solid numbers. One key issue about that, of course, is that the valuation they did do would assume that we had obtained financing, project financing, with the required equity raising that goes with that. And clearly, depending on what share price you raise the equity for, then that has a big influence on that final valuation. But look, overall, I think it was a fair, reasonable valuation.
Yep.
We're just going to try and improve on it.
Now, I understand, moving to recent news, you've had an announcement just recently.
We're quite interested about this. It's the mica test work that we have been referring to, and not giving it a high profile, because we do stress that Borborema is a standalone, extremely robust, viable gold deposit. We don't want it to be known as a gold deposit that relies on credits, but we'll take the credits when we can. We're not that proud. The results have turned out really well. Anzaplan in Germany has got some bulk concentrates done by a much cleaner, cheaper method than we originally had thought. It was a magnetic separation. And the bulk concentrate they produced has a lot of very commercially attractive uses. And what we're trying to do now is look at the marketing strategy. We're supplying some of that sample into potential off-takers. And it's a relatively small market compared to many other commodities, but it can be very, very significant if we can tap into that, because of course all our mining costs and treatment costs have been met. The mica, I think there's been some concern that the mica, as it came through the milling, the processing dilution circuits, would be damaged. That's not the case. We've got some good quality material there, and there are other avenues we've got to investigate in terms of further improvements and the extraction of even higher standard of product out. So look, early days yet, but we're quite encouraged with that.
And what's next? What can investors expect next, or certainly over the next couple of months?
Well, there's a few developments happening at the moment, both in terms of our corporate structure over in Brazil. We're recruiting some quite high calibre candidates to go into the owners team with a view to getting into the construction phase fairly soon. We should be getting more development, some more information from several prospective financial groups. In fact, when I go to PDAC later this month, where we've been asked to talk on this project in the Brazilian Mining Day, we will take the opportunity to continue our due diligence with some of those financial institutions in Toronto. It was also several Brazilian entities that expressed interest, and I think we'll see a fair bit of activity over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Fantastic. Well, be sure to see you at Toronto. So Andrew, thanks very much for joining me today. We look forward to more updates from you and the team soon.
Thank you very much.